Considered to be one of our most beautiful flowers, the rose is widely revered. With its countless varieties and cultivars, there are roses for everyone to love. Tonight we look at the science that has even more new roses coming into bloom. That's straight ahead on this edition of Great Gardening.
Every tree has a moment when it shines.
That's called moneywort or creeping Jenny.
You can go in and do a rejuvenating pruning.
Forage and feed for our native pollinator population.
A garden really gives you peace of mind.
Hello and welcome to Great Gardening. I'm Pamela Fish. Tonight we meet a local rose breeder who shows us a fascinating technique used to make those beautiful blooms even better. And as always, we welcome back our better than ever garden experts. They are Tom Casper, local garden professional, and Bob Olin, area horticulturist and educator. Hello, good sirs.
Hi,
Hello, madam.
I'm trying to class you up a little bit.
Oh, does that give us permission to be a little surly?
Well, sure, go ahead. We know you never are.
No, never.
But we're so thankful that you are here, and we also welcome back and are thankful for our devoted phone volunteers, the St. Louis County Master Gardeners. Give them a ring at the numbers there on your screen. They will get your garden questions to Tom and Bob, who provide excellent on-the-spot answers for us. Well, here's a look now at what's going on outside. Well, first here's a look at all the red shirts. And we didn't plan this. But we also want to take a look at what's been going on outside from photographer Ted Pellman, some signs of the season. Not what we want to see right now. Well, the buds are nice, but what a day out there, huh?
A little blustery.
There we go. Reminds us of where we're living. It's a northern climate for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. It is it's not unusual this time of year to see the white on top of the green.
Yeah.
It's going to go fast, and by the time we get to the weekend, it'll be green on green, I'm sure.
Yeah. Well, and one thing a lot of people are probably wondering about is this going to damage anything that's been uncovered?
Well, just the frost-sensitive materials, if people really, but most hardy perennials and so forth. We've got the straw layers on there just to protect from the real cold during the winter, so they're going to do just fine. These aren't really severe temperatures at all.
Yeah, we haven't seen anything too cold, and even looking at the next 10 days, I mean, we're going to be close to freezing, but a lot of our stuff is okay down into 30 degrees and so.
Okay.
So.
My mom tells me my chives will come back. I took the bucket of chives out because they were starting to green up and put them on the deck, and now they're covered with snow, but
Yeah, they should be fine.
They
Your
should be
mom's
okay.
very wise
she's pretty wise about gardening.
about lots of things.
Yeah, and farming and such. Well, it's pretty amazing to see how some of our most prized plants and flowers come to be, and in this case, we look at our national flower and symbol of love, the rose.
Well, my name is Julie Overham, and I am a rose breeder, and this is my big lab, and it's Lake Nebagaman. I am doing what they call controlled pollinations. I will use a plant, a female plant that I know will set seeds, and I take pollen from another rose that I think, if crossed with this female rose, would create something better than both of the parents. My goal personally is I live in a cold climate, and that means finding plants, trying to develop plants that are winter hardy. Disease resistance is important to me because I do not spray my plants. You want to have a good female parent, and this is Prairie Princess. It's been used fairly extensively by northern breeders up in Canada. I want to take a bud that is soft when I feel it. The petals are soft, but it hasn't opened yet because I don't want the bees to have been in here. Okay, so the first thing you do is pull all the petals off of it. The stamens are these thin stalks, and the anthers are on the outside, and that's what contains the pollen. So that's the male part of the plant. The center is the stigma, and that's what you're going to want to pollinate. So I don't want this rose to self-pollinate, so I'm going to take all the male parts off the plant. And so it will leave only the stigma then, the female part of the plant. So, okay, so that's what's left, and it's ready to pollinate now. So then I take my pollen, I select the pollen that I want to use. The anthers have dried up. I picked them off a selected plant several days ago, and that's what you see here at the side then, that powder is the pollen. So I'm going to take that, and so it's just painted on, and it really takes very little pollen, but I like to put a lot of pollen on. So then I want to mark what this cross is. Put tin foil over it. Just cover it up for a couple of days to keep the insects out of it until, you know, the whole process of fertilization takes place. So if my cross is successful, and it actually takes, then in about 2 weeks, you can see that they're swelling, and it's like, this is what I want to see. That means it was a successful cross, and then all it needs is time to mature. I want the hips, that's what this is here, the rose hip, and I want it to turn orange or red. Once that's happened, you can collect the seeds. So you want you know, your seeds to be mature, and that takes generally 90 to 120 days. What you do then is put them in baggies, marked baggies. You mark them with the cross, and you put them in a soilless mix, a sterile soilless mix. Generally, my seed bags go into the refrigerator the 1st of November, and New Year's Day I start planting seeds. So these are second-year seedlings. So what I'm looking for is I want to see what they look like in mid-August. And if they are still doing well, I will plant them out in the garden. Then my single goal was to have one commercial introduction. I'm on my way to it, but I'm not holding my breath. So I have a rose being looked at very seriously. It came through the winter great. It gets tons of blooms. It blooms pretty much until well into October, but it's still up in the air whether it will, you know, actually make it to market or not. Not very many roses do.
What an interesting process, and what a beautiful red rose that she's cultivated.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're wearing red in honor of Julie's rose, and we hope it does make it to market.
And I hear she's going to name it Tom.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I
thank
didn't
you,
hear
Julie.
that.
Is that why she's having trouble introducing it?
It's very shy, that rose.
Great work, Julie, and we wish you well. Thank you so much for the information. There's the number up on your screen now. We had a little technical trouble earlier, but please give a call, as is often the case. We do have questions that have come in earlier. People are so anxious that they get our questions to us earlier sometimes. Dave from Duluth has a spruce. The base of the tree is 17 feet from the basement concrete wall. Should I move that or remove it to prevent damage to the wall?
That's pretty far away.
Is it going to be
really
okay?
Shouldn't be a problem.
All right.
You know, somewhere down the road that close, and as it gets into a bigger tree, potentially it could be a problem to the roof of the house, more likely than the basement at that distance, but it should be okay.
Okay. Mary in Iron River is growing a potted lemon tree indoors. She got it from Bachman's in the fall of 16. It bloomed, looked good, but the little lemons keep falling off. Do you guys have experience with lemon trees?
Not a great deal in this climate, to be honest with you, but generally what happens in a heated environment like that is she apparently has got fertilization that's occurred. She's got them developing, and then they're dehiscing is the term, they're falling off. That's typically very low humidities. And I think what I would do is I'd just try to get the humidity up. Sometimes humidity can drop to 10 or 15%, and you want it up about 40% or so. A little more humidity.
Yeah, pretty challenging to try to get those to mature in that indoor environment that most of us have. So,
Okay, Zabel in Duluth has overwintered 2 potted hibiscus and is wondering, when do I prune them? How much do I prune them, and do they need to be fertilized?
She probably doesn't really need to prune them now as our temperatures start to warm up, or the ones that she can start bringing them outside slowly, but certainly waiting until our temperatures are consistently warm, probably well into the latter part of May and June, and slowly bringing them out as our temperatures warm. If she wants to do some shaping to it, she could go in and do that right now. It's not going to hurt them. And certainly as she starts to bring it out, time to start fertilizing then. So.
And amazing how big they get and how beautiful those blooms are.
Outstanding.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I love those. Let's see, I don't have a name for this one, but a huge ant problem in my sandy soil in the Blackhoof area. Is there something natural I can use? It's in the yard. The ants are in the yard.
Well, that can oftentimes be a challenge, and people will try a lot of different things. But the ants are pretty resilient, and if you try to chase them a little deeper with anything from vinegar solutions to soap solutions, it doesn't seem to last too long, really. She might have to bite the bullet and one time make an application of a labeled pesticide for use there. Can always dig them out, but if she has a sandy soil, that's going to be a real challenge too. So we really don't have good quote-unquote organic or household solutions for control them. They're pretty well protected with their underground nesting areas.
Sure, sure. Okay, Jim is wondering, how deep should I set a barrier or edging around my flower bed in order to keep the lawn and the grass out?
Well, that is a challenge because even no matter what you do, grass is going to find its way in. So certainly a little bit of maintenance goes along with that. But if you're purchasing some of the commercial, whether it's steel edging or the vinyl edging that's so popular, they're about 4 to 6 inches deep. And that generally works pretty well for years, but eventually grass will find its way. So a little bit of cleanup each spring as that grass is creeping in should really take care of it for the
You know what I've seen are those edgers that people use. They basically cut a little furrow in.
Like a brick paver.
Yeah.
Yeah, and those work good too, but the grass is going to creep through where each of those joints, so it's going to take a little maintenance along with it. So.
If I could just offer one thing, this is a situation where if you're going to buy edging, you don't want to go cheap. You want to buy a real quality grade. You're going to spend a little bit more, and I think that 6-inch barrier that's firmly planted. So quality commercial edging opposed to a lot of things that you might buy at some of the less expensive outlets.
Yeah.
All right. More questions to come, but right now we want to move on to our Grow and Show feature, where we get to share some photos that are sent in by area gardeners. Here's this week's look. It's the kind of produce we anxiously await this time of year. This bright harvest basket came from the gardens of Sandy Huard in Duluth. Sandy also grows beautiful vines like this perennial porcelain berry vine and the annual vine Cathedral Bells with its delicate, lovely teacup flowers. The grandkids grew these giant sunflowers in the garden of grandparents Rick and Barb Oase in Gnesen Township. What a lesson in gardening for Jenna, Eric, and Ingrid to watch the sunflowers grow to twice their size in just one summer. Spring is already showing itself on Madeline Island, where Robin Trinko Russell shot this photo of a hellebore in full bud just a few days ago. The blooms will arrive any time now. If you have pictures of buds, blooms, or edible garden fare, send them along to Great Gardening and let us show what you grow. And be sure to keep sending those pictures, and you can go online to our website and find out more about where to send them, but we love to see them. I just got some in the mail today, some hard copy ones. We like to get them emailed, but these were beautiful, and I can't wait to show them in the next couple
and
weeks.
Robin, great gardener out in the Bayfield.
She is.
Island
She
area,
is,
so.
yes. I should mention we're going to be going to Madeline Island for a bus tour May 21st, and there's still a few tickets available, so you can also find out more about that.
And the
on
last
our
couple
website.
of years, we have hit the daffodils at their prime when
Yeah.
we've gone out there, and just stunning, tens of thousands of them in bloom.
Right.
Hayfield in bloom is outstanding.
It is beautiful. Okay, well, let's get to more of those questions from area gardeners. And one recent inquiry that came with a picture. Take a look at this, you guys. It's from Robin in Gordon, Wisconsin, different Robin. And she said she was pruning her apple trees and discovered this issue. What is it, and what should I do about it?
You know, that's a real challenging question, because this obviously is an egg mass that's surrounding the apple. What we're really concerned about is the forest tent caterpillar, but apple certainly is not the preferred host, and this does not look similar to forest tent caterpillar egg mass. So it's definitely an insect egg mass of some type of a caterpillar and moth, but most likely not the forest tent, which is going to be black in color. So in terms of control, I think just rubbing them out at this point. Those are all egg cells, and I think she can keep the twigs intact and just eliminate them that way pretty easily.
Yeah.
Okay.
And if she is concerned about it, I
Yeah.
would recommend maybe consulting a area arborist or something like that,
Sure.
having them come out and try to identify, having that person come out and try to identify them. So.
Okay, thanks for that. I do have to ask to follow up. How about those forest tent caterpillars this year? What are we expecting?
I don't know what nature's doing, but so far we've not seen a lot of evidence. We've had concentrations that have moved around the area, but they certainly haven't. We haven't had this broad defoliation, which would anticipate we're actually long in the cycle here. So, so far so good for another year, which is excellent news for folks with outdoor weddings and graduations.
Yeah,
and so
no
forth.
kidding.
We're gonna be okay.
And
Okay.
want to be outside.
All right, the questions are stacking up. This one from Kathy in Rice Lake Township. What flowers can I plant to attract butterflies? I know you guys talked about this recently.
Yeah, we sure did. You missed a session there that was spectacular. Go ahead, Tom.
Well, yeah, I mean, really, there's a lot of choices: asters, bee balm, coneflower, black-eyed Susan, coreopsis. The list goes on and on. Annuals like snapdragon, zinnias, alyssum, all sorts of stuff like that are great, and really expanding the season as much as they can. So even planting fruit trees or flowering shrubs like lilacs and stuff like that, really to get that long bloom season. So.
Great point. And you know, we want everyone, because we're trying to encourage everyone to get some of these pollinator flowers out there. So nice big blocks of colors that they recognize. They would actually prefer yellows and lavenders and blues. Probably not as well attracted as the group up here in reds. We're not attracting too many pollinators tonight, which maybe is a good thing. But big blocks of color, the extending the season, seed them in the fall. There's just so many options out there, and considering the natives and single flowers rather than double flowers and things that aren't hybridized. So back to the originals that the insects.
You did learn a lot last week.
I was
when you
paying
were
attention,
talking about
taking
that.
notes, weren't we, Tom?
Okay, Patty from Hayward wants to know about the lilies, the Asiatic lilies planted in August, and should I cut them back now?
Asiatic lilies planted in August, they would just be coming up now.
Oh, I wonder if she meant she left them up.
Oh, she has the
Oh,
stalks
stalks,
still.
yeah.
Yeah, she'll want to get all that out of
Get
the
all that
garden
out of there
It's a
now?
Nice clean up this fall, or this spring of that stuff left over.
Okay, Rose from Chisholm has a hyacinth plant that's withering but has bulbs underneath. Can I put them out in the yard?
So she more than likely has a tray of them like we
Yeah,
see here, and certainly waiting a couple more weeks, keep it watered, evenly watered, nothing over, and let it slowly die down, and then plant them as late in the season as she can. So.
Okay. Therese from the town of Duluth has rain barrels with foam and algae on them. Is that dangerous? How do I prevent the growth, and how do you control mosquitoes that you might get from there?
Couple good points. Trying
Yeah.
to collect rainwater and conserve moisture. Number one, rain barrel should really have a lid on it. You just want an small open area that will conduct from a rain downspout into the barrel itself. So that's going to eliminate a lot of the problems with mosquitoes. But right now she's got an open barrel. She's got some algae. Maybe just a little bit of a bleach solution is probably as innocuous, which will knock some of that back, and then sealing it up when she's done.
Okay, great. All right. We'll have to save the rest of our questions for a little bit later because we want to get to our tour. And this week's tour takes us to the Iron Range, where a small yard nets some big results.
I'm Pat McCutcheon from Hibbing, and this is my garden. And I've lived in my house a little over 40 years. And I've just, slow but sure, made bigger and bigger gardens. I guess my favorite thing would be coneflowers, because there's a lot of them. and then they kind of spread themselves, so you kind of get what Mother Nature gives you. And I have just the purple ones, and then I have the white swan, and there's actually a couple green ones over there too. Yeah, but the purple kind of take over for color. In Hibbing, we have the city heat line, and it gets really warm, and that's why I can grow quite a few things in here. Like gladiolas and stuff, they don't even freeze over the winter because it's so warm. And the succulents seem to do the best there because everything else kind of dries out. So that's what I did this year. And the lambs here, they love it. They've always liked growing there. This is the money plant, or Luna plant, but in the spring there's pretty purple flowers, or white. I've had both. And then after the flower goes, they start getting a seed pod. And then toward fall, you can peel them. See, these aren't quite ready. There is a shiny silver, and this whole thing will be full of them. They'll last forever once they dry. And they seed themselves, so I don't plant them. That's Nicotina, I call it. And that will seed itself too. And I love that because in the evening it smells so nice. It's so perfumed. Those are hydrangeas. These are other hydrangeas. They're Incredible Spirit, they're called. And then I have a couple roses in between. And they're at least 10 years old. And they're all carpet roses. And these are mostly the pink ones here, or dark ones. I start a lot of my hydrangea bushes just by taking a lower branch and put it on the ground. And I take a little dirt to go over it and a brick or whatever to hold it in place. And then by fall or the next spring, I can chop it off and I got another plant. They're all Asiatic lilies. They're different kinds. Grew up in the country, so I've always loved to work outside.
Oh, and a big thank you to Pat. We had a lot of fun up there in Hibbing.
Well, and just watching that, the previous question about pollinator plants.
Yes.
Saw the liatris and
Beautiful.
hollyhock in that picture, clematis. There's some more for you.
All
That's right.
old-fashioned plants, and the nice thing is we go farther north. Once again, we get the longer day length, a little bit cooler nights, and the colors get even more vivid.
Yeah,
It's fantastic.
just gorgeous up there. Thanks again to Pat. Okay, we have quite a few questions. Let's see how we do. Jean from Duluth was wondering about, has a solution for getting rid of ants. So this is an answer, not a question.
Great.
Sprinkle cream of wheat cereal. The ants can't digest it.
Give it a try.
Why not?
Yeah.
Let's
Can't hurt.
try that.
Can't hurt.
Darla from Saginaw says, the tulips in my pot have finished blooming. What can I do with them?
Again, similar to the hyacinth, allow them to die down on their own and then plant them later in the season and hope that they come back. Chances are they're going to struggle when they're forced like that, but give it a try.
Okay. Mona from Duluth wonders, where can I buy perennial organic grass seed that won't harm the bees?
Perennial organic grass seed. First off, I'll clarify that the term organic, certified organic, only refers to food and fiber. It does not refer to turf in any way, the actual USDA certification. So I don't think she needs to be concerned. She wants a good quality grass seed, and the most important thing, because we're not really carrying anything there the way that's produced, they're just harvested. Getting good varieties, she wants perennials, and that would mean lead us in full sun to common Kentucky bluegrass, staying away from some of the exotic varieties that require more nitrogen, more fertility. Just picking up a good mix. We got a lot of good name brands. We got a lot of good dealers in the area, and talk with them just a little bit. But common Kentucky blue for the sunny areas, and creeping red fescue for the partial shade.
Okay. Another bee question. Barb in Friedenberg wonders, where do I put a small bee house the size of a birdhouse in my yard? Hanging in a tree or on a pole?
It's best to have them stationary, so hanging in a tree that's going to move, which won't be attractive to the bees. So a stationary location, either on the side of a structure or a fence post, something like that.
Okay, great. Harlan in Cloquet wonders, can I still cut back my Parkland series roses this spring?
Yes.
Okay.
Now's a great time. this weekend's going to be nice, perfect time to do it. They more than likely haven't budded out. Can probably take them down to 4 to 6 inches high, and they'll resprout nicely this spring.
Okay. Martha wants to know, is there something for preventing tar spot on royal red maples that does not harm wildlife, bees, butterflies, etc.?
You know, we have several fungal diseases that are actually attacking our maples right now, and you want probably a broad spectrum fungicide. If in fact it's been repeated, you want to always clean these the leaves up, and you want to get them either off-site or composted. But there are a couple of them. Fungicides are a little different than insecticides. You still want to be careful if there's anything ever in bloom, but I think I'd take a look at a product like Daconil or chlorothalonil. It's broad spectrum, and just as those leaves are folding, and then maybe 10 days later, and that should help.
All right, great answers to all those questions, but we're out of time. We want to just mention on our calendar one more chance for that spring garden extravaganza that you guys had last Tuesday, coming up again this coming Tuesday. And what are the topics that night?
Well, we're going to go to edibles, living off the land, so fruits, vegetables. We're going to take a look at seed. We've got a geneticist that's going to talk a little bit about hybridization and GMOs, and then we're going to swing right into discussion on fruits and vegetables, detailed discussion on controlling the spotted wing Drosophila.
Oh, that's a big one. Okay, lots to learn there, and as always, go to our website for more information on garden events and other information about gardening. But our time is up, guys. Bob, Tom, thank you again so much. What can I say? You guys really know your stuff, and now a lot of people know your stuff too, right?
That's right. So what's it
We're
worth?
absolutely.
Thanks again, and thanks to our phone volunteers from the St. Louis County Master Gardeners. And thanks to everyone who called in. We appreciate your time from all of us here. Thanks for watching, and enjoy the garden.